I think we need to talk about something weird. It's been about 2 months since the Nintendo Switch 2 launched, and if you've been paying even a little attention, you've probably noticed something odd. The console is still in stock. Like, everywhere. Target, Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop, you name it. You can buy one today. Right now. No fighting bots, no refreshing a website 100 times, no blood sport in the checkout aisle. And if you haven't noticed, and you've been looking for one, well, go buy one. It's available. Now here's the weird part. This isn't how big console launches usually go, especially not for Nintendo. So what's going on? From the beginning, I said it. The Switch 2 was surprisingly easy to get, and every time I said that, I'd get pushback. People claiming it was out of stock everywhere, impossible to find. But here's what I noticed. Most of those people already had one. So which is it? You couldn't find one. But you have one? That contradiction became a pattern. People kept talking like it was PS5 level demand, but in reality, the scalper economy never took off. You weren't seeing Switch 2 consoles go for $800 on eBay. Most listings had a $30 to $50 markup. That's lunch money, not a business. And when scalpers can't profit, you know what that usually means? The supply is stable, or the demand isn't what people expected. Now look, when I say it was easy to get, I don't mean it was just sitting on every shelf 24/7. That's not how modern launches work anymore. But if you were remotely proactive, signed up for alerts, checked store availability, followed a Twitter restock page, you could get one. And now, 2 months in, no effort needed. It's just there. Available to ship, available to pick up, even available in multiple bundles. Mario Kart bundle? Pokemon Legends bundle? No bundle at all? You've got options. You can order it online, schedule a store pickup, or walk in and ask. You can even throw 3 in your Best Buy cart without any restriction. No CAPTCHA, no queue. It's not just available, it's abundantly available. And that raises some questions. Here's the question. Was demand overhyped, or did Nintendo overproduce? The truth? Probably a bit of both. I do believe Nintendo built up a massive stockpile in advance. This console has likely been in production for over a year. It's not a radical redesign, it's the Switch we should have had 2 years ago, and Nintendo knew it. But if Nintendo really had 10 million units ready at launch, why are they only projecting 15 to 20 million units sold in the first year? That doesn't add up. Which brings us to another possibility. Maybe retailers were told to slow roll the launch. If you followed this launch closely, you probably noticed it wasn't the usual free-for-all. Most retailers staggered their inventory. Rather than dumping everything online, they shipped a few units to each store, forced local pickup, and slowly expanded availability. Honestly, that's smart. It curbed scalper activity and gave them data on where to send more stock. Based on what I saw, availability heavily depended on your location. Big cities? Tougher to find one early on. Suburbs? I've mixed results. Smaller towns or inner city stores? Stock just sat there. In fact, I know people who refused to buy one because the store location felt sketchy. Meanwhile, someone like me, who's been helping friends track these things for years, was able to find Switch 2 stock for almost anyone who asked. This wasn't a hard-to-find console. It was just inconvenient if you weren't really looking. And here's where things get really interesting. This whole launch, it's felt off. Where was the hysteria? The hype? The headlines? We didn't get the same kind of launch day madness like we did with the PS5, the original Switch, or even the Wii. And sure, part of that could be intentional. Maybe Nintendo didn't want a frenzy, but it's also possible that this system just doesn't have that same draw. It doesn't have a Breath of the Wild, it doesn't have a must-have exclusive. It launched with Mario Kart again, a game we've all been playing since the Wii U. So even if the console is good, and I'm not saying it isn't, the hype, the urgency, it's not there. Here's what I'm really watching for. On August 1st, Nintendo releases their official Q1 numbers, including how many Switch 2s they shipped. Then, on August 27th, we get the NPD US sales data for July. That's when we'll get the clearest picture of what's really happening. Because if this thing is truly in demand, and supply was the only thing holding it back, we're going to see a massive sales spike. But if the numbers are flat, if we don't see a big jump despite all this stock just sitting there, That tells us everything we need to know about how much people really want this console. And here's the other wild possibility: price drops. If these consoles are just sitting in warehouses, not moving fast enough, retailers won't wait. They'll start bundling. They'll start discounting. We're already seeing Donkey Kong Bonanza selling for under MSRP. Switch 2 might get its first real deal before Black Friday. Because here's the thing: if Nintendo's margins are strong and retailers want to clear shelf space, that's when the price war starts. I've been saying it since launch. This whole rollout has been strange. Everything from the sales narrative to the scalper situation to the oddly calm launch, it all feels a little off. Now, maybe Nintendo has a master plan. Maybe the big titles are coming. Maybe they're pacing themselves and saving their real punches for the holiday season. But if the Switch 2 is supposed to be the big next-gen Nintendo system, it sure didn't launch like one. And the fact that it's just sitting in stock weeks after launch should make you ask the same question I've been asking. Is this thing underperforming? Or did they just over-prepare? Because we're about to find out. At the end of the day, all of this could mean everything. Or nothing. Maybe Nintendo planned it this way. Maybe this is just how launches go now. But there's one thing I can say for sure. The Switch 2 launch has been weird. So if you've been waiting to buy one, go get it. They're literally everywhere now. And if you're like me, tracking this stuff, watching how it all plays out, then buckle up. We're about to find out what the real demand for this console actually is. Until then, let's just enjoy the weirdness.